Breaking news, my country people, everywhere scatter for Rivers State. This election has turned into a do or die affair. Now, there have been some disruption in the ongoing local government elections in Rivers at Ward 9 in Ele Kaha local government area of Port Harcourt. Some voters allege that while they concluded voting, some policemen came and started shooting sporadically using tear gas on them, and some ballot papers were seen littered at the entrance of the collation center. Some of the voters who spoke with journalists said that the voting process was already over and counting concluded before this disruption. So that means the policemen, they patiently waited for the voting to be over before they came and started destroying the ballot papers, scattering the ballot boxes, and chasing voters with tear gas, even shooting on some persons. Now, there was no policeman at the scene to give their own account of what really transpired at the time of the event. But however, the Rivers State Police Command has promised to release an official statement on the incident. And despite so much controversy surrounding the local government election, including court orders directing the police not to participate in the election went ahead. Prior to the Saturday, police authorities in the state said that they will not provide security for the exercise, citing the court order banning them. And even Governor Fubara, a day before, told them that he doesn't need them. It was in the early hours of on Friday when he heard that some policemen came to cart away with the election materials. He had to rush to Research Center to check what's happening. And it turned out to be true. And then he sent a message to the IGP. He warned the Inspector General of Police to be very careful. The Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, however, was not moved by the non-participation of the police in the poll. They said whether police come or not, the elections will go on. That there is no going back on the election. There is no going back. And this one that police are said to have disrupted the voting process by scattering the ballot boxes and throwing tear gas at voters. On whose orders? On whose orders did those police commit such an act in Rivers State? This incident must not be left unchecked. This is a threat to our democracy. This is a threat to our democracy, and they have now turned this election to a war. It's not like a battle. Imagine local government election, police trying to disrupt the election. And this is coming as we got reports that explosion had rocked the APC secretariat in the early hours of Saturday morning by some unknown persons. That the secretariat was detonated by some explosives. The gate of the secretariat was destroyed. The doors were also shattered by the explosion. And Tony Okocha pointed fingers at Governor Fubara, saying that the attack on the APC secretariat was politically motivated, and blamed Governor Fubara, whom he said had earlier declared war over the local government election. So he's trying to point Fubara, like he pointed Fubara and said Fubara was the one that called men to commit such an act in Rivers State. And guys, now look at what's happening. Even before now, Governor Fubara had lashed at the police. The Nigerian Police Force also reacted to what Governor Fubara said, where they kicked against Governor Fubara, saying that his words were shocking and unwarranted. Fubara accused the IGP and the entire Nigerian Police Force of serving the interest of an Abuja-based politician to scuttle the local government election. The governor who said this when he went to RISEC office said he prevented an alleged attempt by the police to remove materials meant for the upcoming local government election. As soon as he got intel, he had to rush to RISEC Center to check if the election materials were still intact. And then the IGP of police and the Nigerian Police Force said they did not expect such weighty allegations from Governor Fubara. Now, what happened in Rivers State? They did not expect that the Nigerian Police Force, they are not like that and all of that. They said they will remain politically neutral. They will remain politically neutral. What happened in Rivers State? Look at what's happening. Look at what's happening. The police operatives that ought to be committed to the protection of lives and properties in the country are the ones perpetrating evils, are the ones causing disruption. They are the ones destroying lives and properties in the country. Look at it. That means the claims made by Governor Fubara is not a lie. It's the truth. It is indeed the truth. Because Governor Fubara did not wrongly accuse them. He knew what he was saying. He knew quite well what he was saying. The police has said, well, Governor Fubara used unprintable words to describe the IGP of police, threatening to shed blood and burn down the state because of local government election that is not acceptable to them, that they will not partake in the election and all of that. And the Governor of Fubara said that he doesn't even need them. The people of Rivers State noted that they will conduct this election with or without them, and they did. And they did. Now they waited after the election to come and disrupt the election results, scatter the election results. At the end of the day, they will come and say police are maintaining neutrality in elections. That is a big lie. That is a big lie, because this act by the police is indeed an act of breakdown of law and order in the state. When they ought to prevent such, they are the ones perpetrating such evil deeds in the state. It is really, really wrong. What is going on in Rivers? Why is it that the police, are letting themselves be used by political elites for their own personal gains? Why are the police letting themselves being used? Now, the police is not anybody's friend. The police are the politician's friend. Yes, that's what's happening. That is what is happening. So, my country people, more updates are still dropping on this Rivers local government election. But I can tell you, what happened in Port Harcourt, Ward 19, it's an outrageous act. And such an act should be condemned. Now, you cannot differentiate between a policeman and a thug during election, because they seem to play the same role. What is going on? In fact, when you go around the local government areas in Rivers State, most of the election went peaceful. It was a peaceful election without the police. Without the police, the election was peaceful. There was no complaints whatsoever. Some persons stood on guard and they carried canes. They were waiting for anybody to come and disrupt the elections. They were prepared. People conducted themselves in an orderly manner. But you see, the police patiently waited. I think the police is the problem of election in this country. And it is getting out of hands. The police doing dirty jobs for politicians. It must be resisted. How can we say we are practicing democracy or we want this country to be a better nation when these police are going around doing what they do and nobody will call them to order? Nobody will sanction them. Nobody will hold them accountable for their actions. The National Assembly, the Senate, they will keep quiet concerning this. Ordinary local government elections cannot be conducted peacefully in Nigeria. Where are we heading to? Where are we really heading to in this country? Shame on the Nigerian police force. If they are really involved in this act, shame on them. Big shame on them. I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts on this in the comments section. Thank you.